Day. Oh, welcome everyone. Today is a glorious day. It sure is a glorious day. And I'm grateful that you are all here this beautiful day. We were talking yesterday, and out of that conversation came this topic. Why are you running? Eh? You see, we think that our emotions that we feel, sometimes we think there's something to doubt, sometimes we think there's something to fear, but we never give them the proper uh, status that they deserve. We seek to subdue them. No, one does not run from their emotions or subdues their emotions. If you listen to the emotion and observe the emotion, you will see what mental mood or mental state that you occupy. Your emotions are not your enemy. They're not something to banish. It is part of our feedback mechanism. Why? Because it is based upon the law of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. Remember, above is within, below is without. But it also means exactly what it says, above and below. But our emotions are filled with information. And if we would simply observe those emotions, they would tell you where you are, what you're doing, and give you an opportunity to say, is this adequate? Is this the state I want to be in? And if you respond to your emotion with, I don't want to be in this state, well, then what state would you prefer? And you change the mood, which will change the emotion. The emotion is an effect. Hmm? The emotion is an effect. This is why you can't beat it down, you can't run from it, because it has a cause. You. And here was the image that came to mind. You know how something is chasing you and you're running and you're looking back all the time trying to outrun it? The emotion is on your back and you're running from it. And you stop and you grab your knees. Did I lose it? Did I lose it? No, it's on your back. One cannot outrun their emotions. You can't outrun your emotions. Your emotions are not your enemy. They're not there for you to despise and to go, oh my God, I hate my emotions. Why does this happen to me? No. Your emotions are there because they're showing you, hey, here's the mental mood you're in. Here's where you're at right now. Do you want to be here? That's all it is doing. And if you take your time, you see, you don't have to marry the emotion. What do I mean? It means you don't have to act out the emotion. It's just you can feel it in your chest because that's how you know it's there. You can feel it. It is there. You can feel it. But as you feel it, that space between feeling it and acting it is your opportunity to decide if that is what you want to do, if you want to commit. You understand? And this is why it doesn't overtake you. It just tells you, hey, I'm here. Can you feel me? And when you feel it, if you would take the time, and it doesn't take a long time, it just takes a moment for you to say, oh my God, I feel you. You know what? I like this. Let me keep it. Or no, let me change it. And you don't have to subdue the emotion to change it. You don't have to evade it to change it because you can't do any of those things. But if you acknowledge it, you can change it. But you have to see what it is. If you're feeling this thing in your chest, what is it? I don't know what it is. You might not know the name of it. You might not know how to verbalize it, but you doggone well know what it feels like. And you can tell if it makes you feel good or if it's dragging you down like quicksand. You can tell the difference by the feeling of it, the vibration of it. And when you identify the feeling of it, if it lifts you up or it drags you down now, or if it fires you up, because sometimes we say, I can go from angel to heifer in 2 seconds, right? We know how fast we can go from here to choka bitch. We know how fast we can do that. So if you know how quickly you can do that, you know what that means? It means you're not allowing yourself the time to assess the emotion. Remember, it's not there for you to act it out right away. It's just letting itself be known to you. If you want to give it a personality, then. If you want to give the emotion a personality, it is ringing your doorbell. Ding dong. And you say, who is it? You know exactly who it is. And when you know who it is, you decide, man, do I want to let this person in? Or am I going to pretend I'm not home? When you pretend you're not home, it gives you an opportunity to change your mental mood, thereby changing the cause, which changes the effect, which is the emotion. So you see, you are not ruled by your emotions. You're not bullied by your emotions. That's not what it does. It is simply letting you know what mood you are in. And when you know what mood you are in, now you decide how to behave. Just based on the mood itself. So you see, why are you running from these emotions? Don't run from it. It's not meant to hurt you. It is meant to continuously keep you in control of your experience. How do you know that? How do you know it's rooting for you? Because it gives you time. It gives you time to assess it and decide if you want it or not. That's what it does. It does not overpower you. It's not Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's not Hulk Hogan. Shoot, it's not even Ric Flair. Woo! It's not. It's not. Shoot, it's not The Rock. It's not going to throw you. It gives you an opportunity, though, to decide. And if something is giving you an opportunity to decide, what is it telling you? It's telling you you have the power. You have the power to choose. You're not at the mercy of. So let us not run from our emotions today. Heavens, no. When you feel it in your chest, oh God, this whistling in this gap. When you feel it in your chest, take that time to say, my favorite line from Transformers, when the Decepticon, he was chasing Shia LaBeouf and he goes, I smell you, boy. Well, that's your opportunity when the emotion comes up to go, oh, I feel you. That's what you do. You say, I feel you. And then you decide what to do with it. You see how powerful you are? You see? Oh, incoming. He gonna make me look bad. Hi, handsome. He's awake. So remember, that emotion is not there to browbeat you, to drag you, kicking and screaming. That's not its job. It faithfully shows you where you are and gently asks you, is this where you would like to remain, or would you like to move? See? So don't run from the emotion. Feel it. Just feel it. And when you feel it, is it what you want or no? And if it is not what you want, slide into a different mood and that emotion will change. It's as simple as that. If you allow yourself to do it. Right? Because that state that you are in is so... the state you are in is critical. You must know what state you're in. You've got to be able to recognize it. When you see and recognize what state you are in, well, then you know, if you commit to the state, you know how you're going to behave. And you don't just know how you're going to behave. You also know how you'll be treated. See? That's a wealth of knowledge on your part right there. To know exactly what mental state or mental frame of mind you are in. Because when you know what mental state, what mental mood, what mental frame of mind you presently occupy, you now will know exactly how you're going to behave, and you know exactly how you'll be treated based upon that mood. Do you see how powerful that is? Do you see it? Because how do you want to be treated? Well, look at the mood. What kind of action will you take? Look at the mood. Are you going to get into fisticuffs? Look at the mood. You going to cuss a heifer out? Look at the mood. The mood always will determine your behavior. This is non-negotiable. I don't make the law. I am governed by it. So when you find yourself in a particular frame of mind, a particular mental mood or state, it will give you a feeling to match, a corresponding feeling. It is instantaneous, like bam, it just happens. Because it's this, I don't want to say domino effect, but that's what it is. You have a cause, boom, there's the effect. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. Remember the lecture last night? Causation is mental. It's not physical. And I was sitting cheering inside my spirit. I said, yes, Neville, cause and effect. Tell me this man didn't know the laws. He just didn't tell you that he knew the laws. But if you listened, you would know that he did. And he lived by them. So today, this beautiful, glorious Friday, supposed to be hot. I don't know how hot, but we'll see. Pay attention. Do not walk blindly in this world. Right? Because what you're doing is you're also protecting yourself. A lot of people ask, well, how do you protect yourself from unwanted stuff? Well, you protect yourself by recognizing the mental mood that you are in. How so? When you go out, you come across people, you come across things, whether it's a song, whether it's a commercial, whether it's a piece of advertising, you come across things. And when you come across something, you get a feeling. You get a feeling when you come across something. When you are exposed to something, you will get a feeling. And sometimes we catch ourselves and we say, well, I don't know why I feel like this. I didn't do anything, but why do I feel like this? Well, in that case, you'd have to remember the law of gender. Something is always being projected outward, and you're walking right through that projection. It is an invisible projection because you cannot see it with the naked eye, but your body will register that quote unquote invisible projection. And now there's two choices. When you feel it, you've not been impregnated by it because you only feel it. But if you feel it and act it out, you were now mentally impregnated with a state. Hear it out. You could go anywhere and see anything. And if something triggers you, because I'm going to use language that we get now, when something triggers you, you've got a moment to decide, is this what I want? And if you say, no, it is not, what do you prefer to feel instead? Feel that. And that other feeling that triggered you dissipates. But if something triggers you and you commit balls to bone, you commit to it and you act it out, you have been mentally impregnated, and now you are bringing forth offspring that you didn't put there. That's what you're doing. So how does one protect themselves from quote unquote attack? It's not really an attack, you know. It's just a projection. It's the law of gender. Something was projected. Is your womb willing and open? It should be, but for you to mentally impregnate, not for somebody else. Why? Because if you mentally impregnate yourself, meaning you get into the mood, you get into the mental state, the mental attitude that you want to occupy and personify and act out, well, then you mentally impregnated yourself and you will reap it. And you will know exactly what you planted, and you will know exactly your offspring when you see it, your harvest. But if you're walking down the street and you are triggered and then you act the fool according to the trigger, you were mentally impregnated and you have no idea who the father is, for one. And two, you didn't even want that baby. Now, mentally, you are never stuck with unwanted offspring. Mentally, you're never stuck with unwanted offspring. Well, how do you transmute it? How do you change it from something undesirable to something desirable? By recognizing what it is. Well, when you see what it is, now you know what you can reshape it to be. Yes? Which means, oh my God, I don't like that mood. I don't like that mental attitude. I would prefer, and you wait for a moment and you feel and you feel and you feel to see what feeling you would prefer. And you just automatically reshape the other one into that one. Because that's what you're doing. You're not destroying the mood. You're just reshaping it. You're transmuting it. Instead of having it suck the life from you, you are reshaping it so that it gives you life. Which means how? What? It means you recognize what the problem was with the mood, and you decided what mood to be in instead. That's how you transmuted it. And that's how we move through the world. So if you find that you get around somebody and you're triggered, oh, don't feel bad that you're triggered. Recognize that you're triggered and then deal with it. Change your mood instead of allowing somebody else's mood to change you. Do you see where that power is? That's when scripture is telling you we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. That's what it's telling you, because you're looking at the person who triggered you and you think your argument is with them. Your argument is not with them. Your fight is not with them. It is simply, they're simply wearing the state that ruffled your feathers. And so when you recognize that that's what's happening to you in their presence, change your mood. Because I'm gonna use your analogy because it fits. It just flashed into my mind. You have a sword. Your sword is your state. Is your state Excalibur? All right then, because we know swords when we say Excalibur, we know what we're talking about. So you've got this sword, and it is your state. It's an invisible sword. They have one and you have one, and now you begin to parry. You begin to thrust. You're having this argument with this person. All it is a clash of swords. Ding, ding, ding. Right? Hunkard. That's what it is. Sheathe your sword. When you sheathe your sword, it does not mean you're weak. You're recognizing your mental state. And you are saying, yeah, no, that's good. That's not for me. I'm all right. And you change your mood. And the mood that you change to will either sheathe your sword or you gonna fight. Right? Next thing you know, we out here in these streets talking about finish him. What? Work it out. So pay attention. At all times, we must be vigilant. Not vigilant as in worry, but vigilant as in to check one's own mood. Now, if you ever milked a cow or a goat, and you put that milk in the pot on the stove to scald it, you've got to be vigilant or it will boil over and you're going to lose a lot of milk, and that just sucks. But if you're vigilant, you won't boil over, will you? No. But you'll know exactly what to do because you and I have the opportunity to choose how we will act. Your emotions, your feelings gives you that time because you will feel it first before you act it out. You will feel it first before you act it out. And if you notice, there's a delay. However short the delay is, it doesn't matter. That delay, if you would catch it, you and I would save ourselves a lot of trouble. Because then we recognize, oh, they're just in a state. I can see what state they're in. That's all right. I'm going to change my state, though, because I'm not entangling with theirs. And you can protect yourself that way, and you can diffuse any number of situations just by simply recognizing the state of the other. But how do you recognize the state of the other? By first knowing what state you are in. Always. It all from within. So as within, so without. When you know your state, you are now well aware of how you will behave. And you are also now aware of how you will be treated when you know your state. So if you have that arsenal, if you have that awareness, that knowing, well, when you encounter someone and you see their state, you're like, oh, yikes, I see your state. I'm good. That is how we protect ourselves on a daily basis. Yes? Now, I'm not going to keep you all long this morning. I know I always say that, and then I get carried away and I'm yakety-yakking. But who's here this morning in Twitter? Hey, beloved love troll. Made Coins, welcome. It is brilliant to see you both here in the Twitter sphere. Truth be told, I did miss this version of Twitter. I wasn't always a fan of the live stream. I just liked it because many birds, one stone, right? Now I'm looking at 3 stones. You know, one phone there, and then I got the iPad in the middle. Who's here on YouTube and Facebook? Well, morning, Asanya. Cyber's here. Wisdom Almighty AM Amani. Welcome, welcome. You guys made yourselves known in the chat. Who's here on Fanbase? Out. We have CM in the house. Miss Crenshaw Esquire. Hey, terms and conditions. Miss Fawn. Miss McQueen. Afternoon delight. We've got Moon and Dolphin Duck in the house. All flow smiles. Oracle Treehouse. And yes, we can always remember Lil Bit is here too. Oh, he is here. So, just to wrap it up for you this morning, do not run away from your feelings. Do not try to bury your feelings, subdue your feelings, ignore your feelings. Don't do any of those things from here on out. Well, whatever should I do with my feelings? Acknowledge the feeling, because I've always said, there's a window between feeling the feeling and acting out the feeling. There's a window in there, a little tiny space. And the feeling will always make itself known, because you're gonna feel it. You'll feel your emotion. And when you feel the emotion in your chest, before you commit to that emotion, you have a choice. Do you want to commit to it? Or would you like to change it? Why? Because the feeling, the emotion, is the effect that goes along with the mental mood or mental attitude that you are presently in. Remember, cause and effect, they're joined at the hip, man. Where one goes, the other. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So when you feel the effects of that emotion, that's why feelings and emotions are interchangeable, because they're one and the same for polarity. Remember that. They're the same in their nature. You're going to feel the feeling of the emotion. You will feel it. And when you do, you will know a couple of things. You will know what mental mood, mental attitude, what mental state you are in. And when you know that, you can ask yourself, well, do I want to commit to that? And if you do not, well, then how do you fix it? Change your mood. But the emotion and the feeling are invisible. So there's nothing you can do on the outside. It has to be done from within. But if you allow the feeling or emotion to overwhelm you, overtake you, trigger you, well, you'll also know something. You'll know exactly what your behavior will be, and you'll know exactly how someone will retaliate. Good, bad, or indifferent, you will know. You will know. Sorry, but you will. You will know, right? So this is why one does not run from the emotion, but you do have time before you commit to it. Here you are running through the forest. You know what? How many movies have we seen with somebody running through the forest trying to escape something? And then when they turn around to look back, but then when they turn around again, it's right there, what was chasing them, right in front of them. Because that's your emotions. You're trying to outrun something that you can't outrun. It was never designed for you to outrun it. It was never designed for you to ignore it. It has a wealth of information to tell you. But here we are trying to be like Sir George and slay the dragon. Like, you can't. But if you listen to what it is telling you, now you will know how to act. And the other side of that coin is, if you are triggered by an emotion or a feeling, you have the same window of opportunity to say, you can say, well, them is fighting words, or you could say, not today, devil. And if you say not today, devil, not because there is a devil, but if you say not today, devil, it means you have acknowledged that that is not where you want to commit yourself, and then you choose where you want to commit. You choose the mood, and then that mood will bring about a brand new feeling for you, a brand new emotion for you to experience, and then that is what you commit to, and you carry on. So at every moment of the day, we are moving from state to state, from mood to mood. It is not tiresome. It is not a nuisance to move from mood to mood. You have to move from mood to mood because you are moving from cause to cause. Yes, we are moving from cause to cause. We don't have static lives. So in the words of Sting, I can't even remember Sting's song anymore. I can only remember the other version of it. Everything, right? Right? Every cause you do will bring about the effect. So this is why when Neville says we're constantly moving from state to state and we fall into these new states. The reason why we would fall into a state is because you didn't look at that window of opportunity and examine it. You just, you fell pregnant to another state, right? But you don't have to do that. That child is on your last nerve, like a tightrope. Sit on a tightrope. Anyway, that child is on your last nerve like a tightrope. You can feel. You can feel it. And you're like, if you don't stop doing what you're doing. No, why would you tell a child if you don't stop doing what you're doing? You tell you, why don't you stop here for a minute? Examine this mood. Right? And you can change from being absolutely frustrated, and you can turn around just like I do. I swear, I'll tell you, my child thinks I'm nuts. And I turn around with the sweetest, the most pleasant voice, and they say, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to bear the repercussions of such a situation? Weigh your choices wisely. And I don't do nothing, but neither does he. He won't do it because he saw me change in the twinkling of an eye from I'ma choke you to and he doesn't know what to do with himself. But I didn't have to argue. I don't have to fight. It's the same thing. Listen, we've got people out in the world telling you how to diffuse a situation. What do you think you're doing to diffuse a situation? You are feeling the feeling of your emotion, and you are deciding right there on the spot what you're going to do with it. You're going to come out sword, ready, on guard, guns blazing, or will you change the mood? You see how powerful you are now? Listen, you don't have to put your dog in every fight. Come. Work it out. You gotta work it out. Sorry. Oh, Lord, help me. You do not have to commit to every single emotion that you feel. But you do have to acknowledge it, though. And when you acknowledge it, then decide if you want to commit or not. Don't just jump in there. You crazy? Don't just jump right in there. That could be to your detriment. Some people are hot under the collar, and then they always ask, why does trouble always follow me, man? You want me to show you why trouble always follows you? Because you jump in and commit to an emotion that you did not think through. That's why. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. So, I trust that everything made sense today. Because I'm going to simply just keep it short and sweet because it's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend. And you know we're going to meet a lot of people this weekend, right? We're going to go out and do things. But remember what to do. When you feel it bubbling like gas, when you feel that emotion welling up within you, do something about it. Examine it. Is that what you want? No. Change your mood. You cannot fight an invisible with a visible. No, sorry. That's why you're not fighting flesh and blood. Flesh and blood, you need fists, man, or a shoe, right? But you can't see that invisible emotion. But you can feel the new mood you want to occupy. And as you feel the new mood and you occupy it, you will feel the rise of the new emotion and the dissipation of the old emotion. Does that make sense for y'all today, my beautiful friends? With that, let me get the bowl. Let me get the bowl. You might get bird song because you might still be a little tired. Make it your business today as you hear the bowl and bird song to simply decide that you're going to give yourself the opportunity that has been provided for you and you're going to take full advantage of it. It is your privilege to take advantage of that window of opportunity to assess your emotion or your feeling. And when you start doing it that way, do you know what you become? Disciplined. You become disciplined, not because you're forcing yourself to be. You never have to force. You are becoming disciplined. Every time you catch yourself, you redirect and you say, this is who I will commit to being. And you can do what? You can raise and lower your vibration at will. You can change your polarity on a dime. Oh, yes, you can, huh, G? Anyway, you know I love you. Let me get the bowl. Well, you sure can. Turn that like this and get the bowl, yeah. And as you hear the bowl and bird song, as you go into that silent space, absorb that you have the power to change your mental mood at will. Soak in it, bask in it, come to know it. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you on this most fabulous and beautiful day. Go forth into the world and remember yourself. Remember to catch that window of opportunity to govern your own life by simply choosing your mental mood, your mental state, your mental attitude, thereby changing the trajectory of your life. Much love to each and every one of you.